Okay, hi everybody. So what you can see right here is the first page from video 1 for Keyboard Harmony 2. So your very first thing you get to play for Keyboard Harmony. So just so you're prepared for what's coming, you're playing all harmonic minor tetrachord scales. What this means is you're playing harmonic minor scales, but you're using 4 fingers of your left hand and then 4 fingers of your right hand. And if you look at these fingerings, we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're ascending and then descending each scale, and then you have 2 measures of rest. So during those measures, as quickly as you can, bump up, or bump down, I guess, to the next scale and get prepared for that. Each scale we do will have a different key signature because E minor has 1 sharp in it. Also be cautious of the 7th note of the scale, also called the leading tone. It will always be raised half a step from the original key. So for example, let's look at a different one. In B minor, you have 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. The 7th note of the key, A, has now been sharped to raise the leading tone. That's what makes the scale harmonic. So now that you've seen this, I will play it for you. You can play along with me, or you can just watch. Okay, here we go, starting with A minor.
1, set, go.
Now I immediately move to E minor position. And notice for all of these, I don't use my thumbs at all. F sharp minor next. Now C sharp minor. Now G sharp minor. We have a double sharp. And D sharp minor. And A sharp minor. Geez. Oh, that did not go well. To be fair, A sharp minor is not a key I have ever played in or heard of anybody else playing in. Okay, so let's see what we have next. Okay, more tetrachord scales. Again, we have that raised 7th note, or the raised leading tone. Instead of a sharp this time, we're going to be having some naturals. Man, these keys are gnarly. Holy smokes. Good luck. You'll all do great. Hopefully you practice more than I do, so it sounds better than this does. I'm going to try it anyway. Okay, here we go, starting with A flat minor.
1, set, go.
E flat minor. B flat minor. F minor. C minor. minor again. Ooh, that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, so the next couple of pages, if I remember correctly, are practicing intervals that are found in the harmonic minor scale. So we're using the tonic, or the first note of the scale, which in this case is A because we're in A minor. It's going to stay as our base for each of these intervals. The intervals above that are building off of that bottom note. So we're just basically going through this harmonic minor scale, but we're playing it as intervals. Kind of interesting. Okay, so I will play through this, and that's what I'll do.
1, 2, set, go.
Okay, so that was page 190. Next is page 190, part 2. Same exercise as before, but with the left hand this time. Here we go.
1, 2, set, go.
Something I noticed while I was playing through this is sometimes my fingers wouldn't play at the exact same time. So instead of landing together, it sounded more like. So I'd be cautious of that when you're playing this, to make sure that each interval that is blocked, so each interval that's played at the same time, that the notes actually sound at the same time. That can be kind of a hard thing. Okay, so on to page 90 again. On this page, basically what it looks like to me is we're preparing for single hand arpeggios. So when you're doing this and the following page, watch the fingers closely. For your right hand, you have 1, 2, 3, 5. And for your left hand, you're going to have 5, 4, 2, 1. So that's what this looks like, 5, 4, 2, 1. And when you're playing this exercise, it looks like you're moving up, only playing white keys, keeping the same shape. So the sooner you get familiar with the shape that you're playing, the easier it will be to get through these exercises, because then you're playing based off of the shape of your hand instead of trying to remember each individual note you play. So now I'm going to do page 190, number 3, and number 4, back to back.
1, 2, set, go.
Up to B. And on to C. And next is D. E. And then F. And then G. And then A. Okay, now we'll do the same exercise, except for now it's for your left hand, and it's starting pretty low. Just be aware of that, because otherwise you'll end up with this like awkward trying to get your hand really high. So start pretty low. Okay, here I go. 5, 4, 2, 1 is the fingering.
1, 2, set, go.
B. If you want to know the chords, it's C major. That's basically what we're playing. Then D minor. And then E minor. And then F major. then G major, and then A minor. So the reason I started talking about the chords when I was playing this is because essentially what you were playing was a triad with a doubled root. So that means the bottom note or the root of the chord was also played on the top. So that's basically what we did the whole time. And since I missed the first two chords, I'll tell you what they are. You start with an A minor chord and then a B diminished chord. And then we had a major chord, minor chord, minor chord, major chord, major chord, minor chord. Just if you're interested, that's what we were doing. Okay, now we're on to page 190, part 5. This one, similarly, you are playing intervals of sixths. And it looks like we're playing A minor. Let me show you what this looks like. You're playing an A minor scale in the top part of the interval. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. Woo. And below that, you're playing a sixth below. So watch for your accidentals, those G sharps. Everything else is going to be white keys following the shape of a sixth all the way up. I believe the next page is the same deal, but with your left hand. So I will play these back to back. Starting with right hand, page 190, part 5.
1, 2, set, go.
One thing I want to point out now that I've actually played through this is you have rests in between each half note interval that you play. I would really take advantage of those, and as soon as you play that interval, whatever it is, as soon as you play it for a half note's value, so 2 counts, to let go and move. So this is going to help you move more quickly and play more confidently. Okay, here we go. Page 190, part 6, left hand intervals of a sixth.
1, 2, set, go.
Move, 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 move. Yeah, that's a lot easier to do. It's not as crazy trying to hold those out for a long time and then move quickly. Okay, so for the next page, well, page 190, part 7. If I remember correctly, this was kind of hard to get lined up at the beginning, so please forgive me if I start late on this. I'll try to get the timing right. But basically, we're doing the same thing with our right hand. We're playing chords. So I'm just playing thirds. And then I move up a step and play thirds again. So this is similar to that exercise, this one. But now it's just 3 notes. Your left hand is playing octaves that follow. So for example, you start on A, so an A, then play thirds. And then your left hand plays an A octave. And then B, B octave, C, C octave. So that's how this exercise goes. I find that analyzing these kind of things makes it much easier for me to play instead of trying to read all the notes, especially for these kind of exercises where they give you 2 measures of notes and then 4 measures of no notes. So I would suggest practicing analyzing what you play before you play it. Okay, here we go. I will do my best.
1, set, go.
Nailed it. Totally got that timing. I wish you all luck with that. Okay, so here we are on to the next piece. This one again was a little rough on timing for me. if you ever find, for example, what I found for myself is I tried playing this piece and it went faster than I was expecting just because I wasn't well prepared. And so I started over a couple of times. That's one way you could practice this. Another way you could practice this is tell yourself, okay, no matter what happens, I'm going to keep going, and treat this as a sight reading exercise where you're truly sight reading, but you're trying to keep in time. So the main purpose is not to play all the correct notes, but to, when you do play, to play in correct time. So if you miss the first two measures, try to get the third. So those are two ways you can practice. Just try and get the timing right from the beginning, or try and get caught up later. But when you submit this, I would suggest go for everything as best you can do. These patterns are 5-finger patterns, so you're just playing 5 notes in a row, except for an occasional G sharp. And over here we have some F sharps and G sharps. Other than that, it looks like you're mostly playing white keys. You start with 5-finger patterns in your right hand while playing chords in your left hand. On line 2, you switch. So you have intervals in your right hand and 5-finger patterns in your left hand. This is what I'm talking about when I suggest you analyze these. If we were to further analyze this, I would say this is an A minor pattern. This is like a B something pattern, B diminished-ish. It's basically just following A, B, back to A. So maybe that's a better way to think of it, is you play all white notes starting on A, all white notes starting on B, too far, all white notes starting on A. And then down here, you jump around a little bit more. You're going between E major and A minor, and E major, E minor, and then right hand jumps in. So anyway, when you have more time, I would sit down with this and look for specific things to watch for to make this easier for you if this is one that you struggle with in particular. Okay, here I go.
Set, go.
That one was kind of fun. I hope you enjoy practicing that. Okay, so on to the next page. I'll show it to you, but I think at this point it would be a good chance for you to look through this and look for patterns you can watch for. This one is especially good to look for patterns because this is one that you will transpose on the next page. So, well, I'll play the first page for you, and then I'll give you some of my tips for transposing to hopefully make that a little bit easier for you. But here we go.
2, set, go.
Okay, so now that I've played through the original little excerpt in A minor, we're going to look at what happens next. So in G minor, the main things I would notice is the key signature for G minor, which has a B flat and an E flat. I would jump back to this original and look for any accidentals. In minor, the one that you're particularly watching for is going to be the raised leading tone. So in A minor, your raised leading tone would be changing a G from a G sharp because that's the 7th note of the scale. It looks like there are no G sharps in here, nor are there any other sharps or naturals. So if you come across, in this example, either a B or an E, I would just be prepared to play that flat because that's how it will go. The next thing I would do is I would practice this hand separately. So for my right hand, I would be watching what intervals I'm playing. So for example, I notice that all of these are either seconds or thirds. So if I transpose this to G minor, I'm looking at starting on G or starting on the tonic and going up 2 steps and down 2 steps and then a skip. So, or going up 2 seconds, down 2 seconds, and then up a third. And then we're playing some fifths. And then we're starting on the 4th finger, so a 4th above where you last ended. So that's the way that I do this. I'm just looking for, I compare each note to the next and look for patterns. So here's a pattern. We're playing alternating fifths from the top to the bottom of the fifth, back up, back down. This is one I would watch for, especially this 4th, because I'm not really expecting it. I would watch for whatever note would be my tonic. So in this case, it's this one, which if we transpose to G minor, changes this A to G. Left hand is a good place to look for patterns. You're playing a 5th, you play broken fifths, you play a 6th, broken fifths, blocked 5th, broken fifths, blocked 6th, broken fifths. So those are the kind of things I watch for. And just notice here you have a whole measure of rest after he counts in, after he says the 1, 2, set, go, then you have a full measure of rest. So I will be watching for those. Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm preparing to have my hands in G minor. In fact, I guess I'll change this so that you can see. I have my 3rd finger on B flat in my right hand because I know I'm going to use this finger, and I know it's not a B, but a B flat because of the key signature. Okay, here I go. 192 transposed to G minor.
1, 2, set, go.
Okay, so that's transposing. We'll spend more time on this semester. Okay. The next, oh no. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the correct page. Okay, I'm just gonna play through this one. I'll have you look for patterns on your own later. This is in C minor instead of A minor, which we played a lot in. So checking the key signature is helpful before you start. C minor has 3 flats, by the way. Okay, here I go.
1, 2, set, go.
It's just a nice little melody you got going on there. Okay, so what's up next are, it's a 4-part ensemble based off of chords. The first part is the melody of Wayfaring Stranger. This is a Johnny Cash song, I believe. I'm pretty sure. So I will play through the melody first. The timing again on this is weird, so I'm sorry if I screw it up, but just know I'm trying. Okay, so here I go. Page 194, part 1, the melody.
1, 2, 3, 4, set, go.
Watch fingerings. Fingering again. And again. So playing through that melody, the main things that I was focused on were using the fingerings they suggest because they're very helpful. There's some places where you'll cross over your finger like this, so watch for a 1-2-1 figure. There are other places where you're stretching your hand, well, not stretching, but changing from this kind of position to a further position, and other places where you're contracting your hand, so bringing your fingers closer together. So just watch for those things. The other thing is the timing at the beginning. Be aware of that. Okay, so for the next part, I'm not going to be really picky about how you play this. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to be picky if you're playing these chords in root position. When I listen to it, it sounds like they're all in root position, which means that if you're playing an A minor chord, A is the lowest note. If you're playing a D minor chord, D is the lowest note. So that's what root position is in the simplest terms. But if you would like to play inversions where you play the same notes but in a different order, so instead of E, C, A, you could play the same notes, but it could be C, A, E, something like that. If you choose to do that, that's not something I'm going to be like, you didn't play it in root position. Play it the way that's most comfortable for you. But for the sake of consistency, I will play all of these in root position. The chords to watch out for. You have A minor, D minor. I'm just looking for new chords. We've already done D and A. F major, there's not a lowercase m, so we know that's major. And then we have E minor and C major, and everything else is the same. A little hint I will give you is all of these chords are only white keys. So basically, if you can find A minor and put your thumb, if you're playing an A minor chord and you put your thumb on A, then you are in the correct spot if you use fingers 5, 3, and 1 to play the chords. So that would be my kind of shortcut to play this. So now I will play it for you. There's also an octave sign to watch out for. That's something I suggest you do, but nothing to get like up in knots over if you're playing in a weird spot. But if you were playing this ensemble for real, it would be important to follow that. So I'm going to take it back. Follow the octave sign throughout and do your best with that. If you don't have a full-size keyboard, do what you can. Okay, here I go.
1, 2, 3, 4, set, go.
A minor, D minor, A minor. Use those rests to move between chords. That's a good time to move as quickly as you can. D minor, A minor, F major, E minor, C major, A minor, D minor, A minor. Okay, on to the next part of this ensemble. This gets a little tricky, so I would familiarize yourself with these chords, but essentially what you're playing, I'm assuming this is the way they want it, but we're going to alternate left, right, left. The reason I'm assuming that is because of the finger numbers for this chord. It's 5, 3, 1, which implies your left hand would play it. So basically, you'll play an A minor chord with each hand, and they just alternate. So left, right, left, and then again, left, right, left. Same deal, but D minor, and then A minor. So getting used to this crossing motion, I'll show you what that looks like. This kind of thing. And back. It's basically just your left hand crossing. Well, I mean, it is just your left hand crossing. But I would watch for that and be aware of that. Okay, I will play this for you. Again, I'm playing these all in root position with both hands. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, set, go.
A minor and D minor. Back to A minor. A minor. A minor again. D minor. A minor. F major. D minor. pretty wild. Okay, final page. What you're doing on this page is you're playing the roots of the chords. So when it says A minor, you're playing an A. When it says D minor, you're playing a D. When it says C major, you play a C. And that's it. Just individual notes following the rhythm that's written. Hopefully you have your music in front of you so you can just see what I'm talking about. This also has an octave sign to move your left hand down an octave. So watch out for that. Here we go with our last page.
1, 2, 3, 4, set, go.
A minor. Again. D minor. A minor. Again. D minor. A minor. And then F. Major, D minor. F major. E minor. C major. A minor. D minor. And A minor. With this one, I'm not worried so much about fingering, but I would suggest that you use whatever works for you to not like jump around and move a lot. The easier it is for you, the easier it is for you. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, thank you for being here with me today. I look forward to meeting with you next week where you can ask questions, and I'm sure I skip over things that you wish I talked about, so next week we'll get into that. So come prepared to talk if you'd like, or just sit and enjoy. So I will see you later.